Lot of people ask me this question that Varun, which project management certificate should I do? Should I do the Google Project Management Certificate or should I do the CAPM or should I do the most famous which is PMP? Now, when I hear this question, my immediate response is not that, hey, you should do this certificate. Instead, I ask my students the question that why are you even doing this certificate? What is the real purpose of doing this certificate? And most of the times, the answer which I get from them is that, Varun, I want to get a job, and these certificates are very famous for helping me get a job. That's what a typical response I get. But let me tell you one thing, guys, none of these certificates will help you get a job. I repeat, none of these certificates will help you get a job. However, will these certificates help you get an interview call? Yes, absolutely. I have been a hiring manager whole throughout my life. I look at resumes almost on a daily basis where I say that, hey, this is a good candidate, bad candidate. And I personally consider like these certificates play a very, very important role in a career of any individual. But do I select people just because they have these certificate? No, I do not. Now let me tell you how this recruiting process works so that you can get an idea behind why I'm saying this. So basically, for one particular job, there are thousands of applicants who are applying for these jobs. Now out of these thousands of applicants, of course there are people who are these certified, right? And there are people who are not these certified. Now, if I am a hiring manager or let's say the recruiter who first sees these type of resumes, they give preference to people who already have these certificates because there's an understanding that if you have gone through a Google Project Management Certificate or CAPM or PMP, this means you understand at least the basics of project management. That's like the basic minimum expectation as compared to someone who does not have any of these certificates, even though you may have a good amount of real project management experience. Now, let's say I just need one person in my team and I get thousands of applicants, and out of those thousands of applicants, let's assume that 100 people are already these certified and 900 people are not certified. When I already have a pool of 100 people who are certified, will I not give preference to these certificates instead of those 900 people? So your resume gets eliminated at the first step itself if you're not certified at all. So my recommendation is always have these certificates, and I always say this, money spent on education never goes wasted. So do this. This is for your own career, your own growth path. Now, let's talk about which certificate is good in what particular scenario. But before I do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Varun and I am the founder and CEO of EduHubSpot, a training company which has shown thousands of people a career path towards their project management goals and aspiration. Now let's talk about which particular course is good for which particular candidate. When you are hearing me out, I want you to consider that in which particular category you would fall. Let's assume you are in category number 1, a fresh graduate who has recently completed his college degree, and you want to secure a project manager job or assistant project manager job, or you want to start your career into project management. What will you do? You will go to some company's careers website, like you go to Amazon, Microsoft, and all the companies, and over there you type in project manager or assistant project manager or project coordinator, right? And over there you see CAPM is preferred, PMP is preferred. It's typically mentioned over there. But have you seen Google Project Manager or Project Management Certificate preferred? I have personally not seen it. So what Google came up with, Google said that they have created a 6 months, typically a 6 months duration course on Coursera, which is a Google website, and where they go over the basics of project management end to end. Now, yes, if you have free time, I would recommend you to go for Google Project Management course. It's a good course. It talks about in and out about everything related to project management. But this is not one of my favorite certificate. And to be honest, why it is not one of my favorite? Because I have never seen, on these career websites that, hey, Google Project Management is preferred. That's not what I have seen. I want to have a real hands-on experience. Plus, I want to be certified as well with something like CAPM or PMP. So if I'm a fresh graduate, I would 101% go for CAPM as compared to Google Project Manager certificate, because if you're applying for like an assistant project manager or a project coordinator, project expediter or project assistant, these kind of roles, they prefer CAPM candidates. Now, but don't take the CAPM certification just for the heck of having this 4-letter word CAPM after your name. No, don't do that, please. That should not be your focus, because you will not be able to crack the interviews even though you are CAPM certified if you don't understand the fundamentals of project management. And there are many courses which offers the CAPM course. Personally speaking, all those courses are aligned to just pass the certification exam and not teach you the practical side of project management, which is very, very important for a fresh graduate. So if you are a fresh graduate who has recently completed the college and you want to start your career into the project management side, I would say go for CAPM over Google Project Management, but pick up a course which teaches you the practical learning and not just which will help you to pass this certification exam. Now, let's talk about the PMP course. PMP hands down is the most famous certification in project management in the entire world. Not just in comparison to these 3 famous certifications, but all over the world, PMP is the most famous project management certificate. But the real question comes is, are you qualified for this? Now, a lot of people have this misconception that I have been working from last 10 years, but I don't have, my title was never a project manager. So I don't think so I am eligible for PMP certificate. That's completely wrong. PMP certificate has 2 categories, 2 eligibility criteria if you ask me. First, you need to have 35 hours of learning. Now 35 hours of project management learning or education, what does that means is you need to take a course from some a recognized institute like an authorized training partner of PMI. You can take a course from them which will certify, which will tell you that yes, you have taken the 35 hours of learning. However, the question comes in the eligibility criteria based on the experience. Now, PMI says that if you have a 4-year degree and you are into project management from last 3 years, not just last 3 years, you have total of 3 years of experience in last 7 years, then you are eligible for PMP certificate. Now, if your title was not project manager, then also you are eligible if you have been managing projects for at least 3 years. So if you have to pick one, and if you have 3 years of managing project experience in any domain, construction, software, quality, if you're a test lead, if you are a software engineer and you were managing technical projects, you are still eligible. But let's say you don't have a 4 years of degree, you have, let's say, 3 years of degree, or you are a high school graduate, or you didn't go to college at all, then you need 5 years of project management experience. So 3 years of project management experience became 5 years of project management experience. And again, same thing, it's not necessary that your title should be project manager. If you have been managing projects, you are eligible. And if you are confused, you can definitely shoot me an email at varun.anand@eduhubspot.com. I'll be more than happy to look at your resume, to look at your LinkedIn, and my team can guide you with whether you are eligible for PMP or not. A lot of people have this confusion or not. For CAPM exam, if you don't have a real world practical project management experience, then go for CAPM exam. There are 2 requirements for that. One is you need to have 23 hours of project management education, just like PMP has 35 hours, CAPM has 23 hours of project management education, and you need to do the application and you will be approved for it to take. Go ahead for CAPM exam if you are a fresh graduate, but once again, don't do this certificate just for the heck of having it. Make sure you learn the practical learning behind it, and go for Google certificate if you have time, if you really need. It's a long course, to be honest, typically 6 months course. If you have some free time, go for it. Otherwise, jump directly to CAPM. If you have the 3 years of project management or 5 years of project management experience, immediately jump for PMP. So that should be your goal. And if you're looking for help in any of these certification program, you can check out my website www.eduhubspot.com. I don't teach you for PMP, I don't teach you for CAPM. What do I mean by that? I will teach you the practical learning for project management, and these certification will happen on its own. I will teach you with a case study approach. Now, what do I mean by a case study approach? In the case study approach, I will be giving you, making sure that you are managing a real project. I'll be giving you homeworks. You will be using the case study approach to manage a live project. When you are able to manage a live project, then you get a hands-on experience, and this is what will help you in cracking those interviews along with this certification. So do check out my website. If you like this video, if you have any questions, please hit on the like and subscribe button on YouTube. We need to tell YouTube that this is a good video. And if you have any questions, do send me an email on those questions. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Thank you.